Hey there, I'm Jess Ray. I've got a new record, and that means I've got new songs to talk about. On this season of the podcast, we're talking about my album, Mama. I sit in my own kitchen with a couple of my very best friends, and we go through the whole album, song by song. We pull on threads, we follow themes, and we see where the conversation goes. And as you listen, I hope you find something you're looking for along the way. Thanks for being here. Hello, world. We are back.
We're back
for the final song that we're going to talk about.
Believe it. Yeah.
We've done all 10, and every one of them has been its own fun little journey. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Teal, for doing this with me. It's been so fun, so easy, so natural. And hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for you guys who've left comments or reached out and let us know that you're listening and enjoying the conversations. And yeah, it's been a blast. We're going to dig into one final song today. It's called Thy Kingdom Come. So let me play that for us.
Naked I entered, and I will depart. All that is given is a gift from God. There is no telling where this river flows. Stop fighting it, baby. Lean back and float. Out on the corner of devotion and despair. If I've gone missing, you might find me there. He still takes a walk when the evening's cool, and I am the garden that he wanders through. We're the one creature he chose to name. I'm not what you made me. Who am I to say? It is what it is, has been my song, but it's turning into thy kingdom come. Bless it all instead. To open my arms and kiss the face of my own life as it comes my way. I can still hear your voice echoing. Blessed is he who's not offended by me. It is what it is, has been my song, but it's turning into thy kingdom come. What can
a wild little journey.
I love it so much.
Oh, great.
Dude, thank you.
I love that song.
Yeah, me
man.
too.
It's got its own sound.
Yep.
Really, it's so Frankenstein together, honestly. Like, it just became its own little thing. And where it started and where it ended up is a path we probably couldn't have anticipated. And I love where it ended up. It's really quite a little journey. Excited to...
I just realized I'm still
I know.
in it.
I know. It's like one step away from a worship song.
Is
I'm
it?
like, yeah.
Okay.
Right? You think that chorus?
I
I'm
follow.
like, yeah.
I follow.
I
I'm
love that.
down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Down for a corporate singing of that chorus.
I like that.
Probably right after this podcast.
Sure.
Why not? Exactly.
Why wait till it's over?
Oh.
Oh man.
Well, tell us how you got here. Sounds
Yeah,
like it was
totally.
a ride.
It was. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it started with just like pondering again. Sorry to be a broken record, but just like friendship with God and how it requires of us this like all these different things. Total surrender to an unpredictable path, an invitation to knock on his door and ask for something different, intervention, but then oftentimes not. It's just like all these things at once. This like, how do you relate with this wild, unknown creature? Creature? He's not even a creature. Being that is God. How can we be friends with him? How can we wrestle with him? How do we not just despairingly like whatever it is what it is? I think is such a valid way to interact with him. Like, what can I do, God? But like, just, you know, like, I'm going to go where you lead me anyway, or my life is going to end up where you know, to like this participation of like flowing in harmony with him. And all of that is an enormous mystery. So all of these verses are written in a time with the Lord where I'm just meditating on that. So the first thing is Job. Naked I entered and I will depart. Like this idea of like, I have nothing when I arrive and I'll have nothing when I leave. And anything between that point is from God.
Yes.
And then, the rest of the verses is just like stuff that I was seeing and feeling in this time with the Lord. And I'm going to go there. I'm going to like try to say what some of them were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So like the second stanza or second set of lines, there is no telling where this river flows. The original thing I wrote was, I'll light up a cigarette, lean back and float.
Yes. Yes.
It pained me to take it out of the song because now it says, stop fighting it, baby, lean back and float. And I almost left it in, but I didn't want to lose my chance at the Dove Award I'm never going to win. So I was like, I'll just take that out in case it would like disqualify me from any sort of like Christian music award that I probably will never even be considered for.
It makes me think
That's
about
so
now,
funny.
like if there's like smoking in a TV show, they have to put it on the the warning.
Yes, totally.
You would have had to warn your
Totally.
audience.
Yeah. Like they
Reference
would
to
have given
smoking.
me a
Surgeon
Grammy,
General's
but
warning.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So it pained me to take that line out, though. It took me forever to decide on that because I got that image in prayer. So like, it was like I saw myself, like there's this river of my actual life. And I saw myself in an inner tube, smoking a cigarette with my hands up like peace sign, like just basically fully like chilling in the river of my life instead of trying to stand up and swim against
Steer it, yeah.
or steer my way
Yeah.
through it. It was this utter like, I'm chilled out. So anyway, I'm not promoting smoking. I'm not condemning it either. It was like such a clear, vivid image for me of like, give yourself to this and relax into it. So stop fighting it, baby. Lean back and float. And then this one, I don't know where this came from, but out on the corner of devotion and despair, if I've gone missing, you might find me there. Because that's often how I feel, like somewhere between these like pits on the other. Well, I guess devotion's not a pit, but it's just like there's some real true devotion in me, and there's this despairing part. And then the other that same morning with the cigarette image floating in the river, lazy river style, I got the I am a garden that you wander through. I just saw like God as this, like he is walking through these rows of grapevines, like just caring for his garden. And it was just like this, and I get into it in that next line, like this idea of like, I'm his garden, you know, like I'm not in charge here. Like, I'm just like, he's caring and tending for me, but he's like working his way through and caring and doing what he sees fit. And like, let's get the image right in our minds. It's just like, I'm not in control of these things, and I want to just allow him to do what he's doing in me. And, yeah, we're the one creature he chose to name. So yeah, it's just that same idea of like, I don't want to look at my creator and go, I'm not what you made me, or I'm not going to be what you make me. I want to allow him to pass through and to curate and care for me. And yeah, I want the song of my life to start to shift from, well, fine.
Yeah.
I used to think that was like some sort of like, well, that's better than just like curse God.
Sure.
You know, like one step closer is, well, fine, you know, but like one step even closer is just like, I trust you.
Yeah.
And like,
and I'm going to partner with you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to participate in this. So it's a lot of weird images, but that's kind of the first verse of the song. Yeah.
It's kind of like, it feels like surrender. I think when we say like, whatever, you know, it is what it is. It feels like surrender, but it's not the kind of surrender that God is inviting us into, I guess, because it's like, I never been a soldier, but like when there's some sort of actual like surrender, there's a lot of like, it is what it is. Like, it's better than what it was, kind of like what you're saying. But then there's something that we're invited into, which is like a partnership in the surrender, and not every time, but a lot of the time getting to start to see things from God's perspective, you know, instead of it just being like a blind surrender, I guess, where you're just like, I'm at your mercy and I'll never know anything about why you're doing what you're doing, versus like, you know, God's invitation to like, he wants to show us some things, you know, in our surrender.
Totally.
It makes me think about, I'm being convicted over here, in case you didn't notice, but
did not.
Makes me think about Peter.
You look so cool while you get convicted.
Yeah, it's so cool. Well,
light a cigarette.
Just wait until later and I collapse. Fetal position on the floor. You know, Jesus saying to Peter and to the disciples, like, you know, after this sort of controversial statement about eating my flesh and drinking my blood. And Peter, of course, says, Jesus, a bunch of people leave. Disciples are still hanging around. Jesus says, you know, are you going to leave too, right? Too. Indeed. And Peter says, where else are we going to go?
Yep.
You alone have the words of eternal life, which I have sort of pasted on to myself as a bit of a kind of life verse, just in that, like, there have been a lot of points of kind of questioning and revisiting the commitment, both in terms of my sense of God's commitment to me and then my commitment to him. But I wonder, as we're talking about this, if we would be right to sort of take that and pair it with feed my sheep, you know, at the end of John, this Jesus entering into partnership with Peter as really the sort of seed of the church in so many ways. And so, thoughts?
That's that's amazing.
Is this what you're getting at? That like, where else would I go is kind of, it is what it is. And then,
exactly.
And then like feed my sheep, or like, I love you, Lord. And
thy kingdom come.
Is thy kingdom come.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's
instead
really cool.
of just being like nihilistic or kind of like whatever, like, well, where else could I go? That's such an interesting thought. And then, a participation, an agreement to partner in, that's a cool idea.
Well, you sparked it.
That's some gold right there. Second verse, I do love the first couple lines of it. Like, just about, I think I just was convicted, around the time that I'm writing all these songs, I'm just like learning all these lessons that end up in the songs. So it was this trend in my life, like we said in other songs for sure, of blessing and cursing. I'm cursing my actual life all the time and living in a state of cursing it as I walk it out versus like, when am I going to like bless it? And I loved the idea of like opening my arms and kissing the face of my own life and just really trying to change my attitude on a daily basis to like bear hug my own freaking life and thank God for it, versus stay in this just constant, really ungrateful, searching the horizon for something else kind of unrest. That really was a change for me that has started to take place, but certainly could grow some more.
Totally. One of the things I feel like I've watched in you over the years, but that also feels like maybe a bit of a word to a generation or two is, this song connects with a little bit of the like, I'm going to stay in this, but I'm going to be kind of cynical and edgy while I do.
Totally.
And I just wonder if you were conscious a little bit of that theme. And I'm even thinking about like, blessed is he who is not offended by me.
Totally.
Can you say a little bit?
Yeah. That verse came into my life when a friend of ours' dad committed suicide. And this is all like deep believers. And we are praying for their family. And I don't know why, but I picked up a book that talked about that verse. And in the context of that, John the Baptist is in prison. And he's going, Jesus, are you really the one? The one.
Yeah.
And he's having doubts, which is like wild that John the Baptist, who knows Jesus his whole life and, his entire purpose in life was to aim towards Jesus, at the end is confused about it all as it's playing out. And Jesus, that's how he replies, blessed is he who's not offended by me. And I just tripped over that verse, like in this season of life, just tripping over it, just constantly, what does that mean? And then it has just played out as I see it in really all throughout scripture, this idea of like, will you submit to the ways of God being higher than yours? It's hard to do that. And so, I think that really living, like you're saying, like without the spirit of offense, because there is this like reluctant staying that we could do. Or there's this tender-hearted like attention and like presence that we could give instead. But our hearts have to be free of offense against God and his ways of doing things. So so I can still hear his voice echoing that verse that I learned maybe 10, 15 years ago. I just see it show up randomly as I look at my own life, and an invitation to not be mad at him for the way things have gone. Does that resonate with you guys?
Yeah, I think that if we are fully submitted, it's taking into account the things that may have offended us in the past, or it's like, I am submitting to this God who has offended. You know what I mean? Like in order to have full submission, we have to also know that has happened and it can happen again in the future, but that he's also carrying us in such a way that we can start to not be offended by him. I think that's like also his care too, because like he wants that for us, is to experience the blessing of like, not thinking that the things that he does are cursing us, because he doesn't do that.
Isn't he called the rock of offense?
Stumbling.
Yeah.
Stumbling.
I mean, it makes me think too of like the psalmist saying, like, let the bones you have broken rejoice, right? Like that there is a real sense in which, like, at the very least, God allows things, you know, these things that, like, in our limitations, we are gonna rail against 100%, you know, and not even. I mean, you were talking about death in the last episode. It's like, it's appropriate. Jesus teaches us to sort of rail against death, but I don't think that's what you're saying. I think what you're saying is, like, let's keep it all in the same conversation.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. It's the same God who has made me feel this way.
Yep.
Because it's a feeling of offense, I would say, that we can act on, that I'm taking that into account as I submit, which I think is as I submit to him, which I think is actually the blessing that Jesus is talking about, is it's like, I know that that's crazy, that it feels crazy, but I'm still going to submit to you because I know you, I know your heart, I know your kindness, I know all those things about you. And therefore I'm not like living an offended life. Like, it's not like the thing about me towards you is offense. It's like I just have been offended and like affected, you know, and then I've expressed what I've been affected by, but I don't know if that means like I am offended, you know, like that is my identity towards you, or like my my thoughts towards you are just of offense. It's just like I have that experience, and knowing that, I'm going to submit, and it's all part of the conversation, which is the beauty of it, right? Is to be able to just talk to Jesus about that, and to have experiences, I think, also where it's like someone else is offended by it and someone isn't. There's a blessing in that for them, you know. I think that's really true. Like, to have the same, to have, you know, if there's me and someone else and I'm super like offended by God's like character or actions, you know, even if it's like something like that, you know, even in our society would seem really great. Like, God is like super just, but I could be offended by it because of the way that it like affects me, you know, but this person's not, because of, you know, just where they're at in their relationship with the Lord. There's just a blessing in that for them. So I don't know all of the depth of that, but that's basically what I was trying to say.
No, I think that's right. I mean, I wondered too here, I guess, just part of the way I heard this song, and I'd be curious if this was true when you were writing it, is like, so there's a lot of, I think, even like the latest Pew study on like kind of where people are right now in how they understand their relationship to faith. There's just a very high percentage of people who are doing a good amount of sort of like choosing their own version of Christianity. And we can all think of things that have been part of the historic doctrine of the church and continue to be, but that are not palatable currently.
Right.
And there are places where those probably for some of us feel kind of outside, and there are places where that like has deep implications for our lives. So like bumping up against Jesus and the historic sort of church doctrine. And I wonder about that as any kind of backdrop for this song.
I mean, yeah, because I'm right. You know, I know that this could relate to people's lives in different ways, but I'm actually talking about my own life, right? And tripping through my own life, and the things within me that, there's certainly life circumstances that have not panned out the way that I want, that are part of the struggle. But there's like the internal side of who I am and who God's making me into being. And like wanting to continue to take the shape that he, again, like a vine dresser, like a potter, like, you know, I have a song from my previous record called At Your Mercy. And it's like, I am the banks that your river runs through. I'm helpless against you. I couldn't change this and I wouldn't want to. It's like, I'm actually just taking the shape that I want to continue to participate, not only in my life circumstances playing out the way that he wants, but like who he's making me, which certainly like who Jesus is, and then his divine design and desire for things is a stumbling block. It's something you can constantly trip over. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I agree with what you're saying purely on like the personal level of just like, I feel my struggles bump up against God's dream for me.
Totally.
And I have to continue to like be refined and shaped out of one thing into another.
That's right.
And that's painful. And something that there's just a lot of push and pull.
But ultimately freeing. Yeah.
It's absolutely ultimately freeing and worth. Yeah. I mean, that previous song I was referring to called At Your Mercy, it really is this like, into your hands I commit my spirit. I saw myself like doing a trust fall. Like after I was like working through my deconstructing, reconstructing phase, you know, like it really was a trust fall back into God where it's just like, man, I know less than ever, but I'm just like going to give myself to this again. Yeah.
At the end, when we kind of have the two parts over each other, and you say like, am I safe now? Are you going to push me till I break now? Are you going to give me what it takes now? And I think like, I love that that's kind of like brought in at the end, because it's like, are you going to push me till it breaks? Are you going to give me what it takes? Are you going to do both of those things? And will it work out? You know?
Yeah, totally.
It seems like probably yes to that. But it feels, like it's appropriate at the end, because it feels very much like actually we're asking a hypothetical question, I think, to the person listening. It's very instructive if you're listening to it, to this question of like, is God going to push you till you break? Is he going to give you what it takes? Or are both of those things true at the same time?
Yep.
And actually, can we do all of this because God's like, yeah, there might be some like stumbling blocks for you, but I'm going to give you everything you need to walk through, walk over, you know, walk under, whatever you need to do to get through. This idea that, again, that like friendship with God is hard, but it's much easier when he's helping us be his friend, you know, when he's the one filling us, he's the one empowering us.
It's wild. Like if you participate with him, like what will end up happening? Yeah. Because again, I think we keep going back to the cliff thing, but it's like the cliff is not like, we're never going to fall off the cliff. I think what you're saying is like, there's always just this edge to where you cannot know what's in front of it. And one of the things you cannot know is the good things ahead. And so I just think this like actual like participation and leaning in, like I'm thinking about a different individual in our life attempted to take his life that week. And then Kyle and I had planned a really, really nice date night, and we're dining like king and queen. And I'm just thinking this is, and all the ministry that we had to do around that was really intense. And then I'm dining like a queen like 2 nights later. And I just remember thinking, this is going to be my weird life. It is going to be just this absolute lowest of lows, caring for people, washing their feet, going through scary moments, hanging on by the edge of my seat most of the time. And then these moments of intense blessing where it's just like, how are we getting to look at each other in the face right now and eat the best meal of our lives? And like, so I think it's just this wild, like going with God, it's like, it actually is this beautiful, wild thing where he's like doing things on your behalf. I mean, we're sitting in a house right now that it's just like, I could have never imagined we were going to end up here. And I had to go through such a kind of the worst season of trying to follow God, you know, and just going like, where are you? And then the way it played out, it's better than I could have ever imagined, but it was just so painful and difficult, and plenty that I was offended about and all of that. So I think there's this beautiful thing of like trust falling into God and participating in what he's doing. I think he'll surprise us and come through for us in some enormous ways, unpredictable ways as well.
Amen. I mean, I think the tenderness and the kindness of the Lord as he's dealing with us in our personal, often sort of personal offense, because it's connected to our wounds and disappointment. But then this like bringing us, in light of kind of what you're singing, like bringing us into the kingdom, right? So it's not just like and now you feel personally aware that you have chosen the right way and it's you and Jesus and friendship, but that there's this sort of world to live and move around in that is God's world, and God's world becoming more and more of God's world, right? And your participation in that. And I love that. I mean, I love the layered vocals in light of that. Just this let's celebrate together. Like that this is that we can feel so alone in our offense or questions or doubt. And then there's this like emerging at different points, and it's not linear often, to your point, but emerging into like the relief of a kingdom where you're it's not all about your own.
Alone. Yeah. The ending was so funny because it's just like there was nothing for a whole year on this recording. There was no ending vocals there. There was nothing there.
Fun.
So it was just the verses. And then we didn't know what we wanted to put there. And I was just like, I don't know how to end this song. Maybe we don't need any vocals, whatever. And then it was the first time ever, or like one of the very first times ever that I've written a melody that I needed to then write lyrics to. It's often, it's like I write melody and lyrics at the same time, or I'll write like a poem or like lyrics and I'll put them to a melody. But it was the first time I was riding in the car because we had all the instrumentation laid out, but no vocals there. And I just was like singing this thing of like, hey, what? And I was like kind of singing that melody first. And then I was like, da, 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 da. And I was like, I think those will go over top of each other. And then, I think it just felt so, if we're going to wrestle the whole song with just like, oh, you're such a mystery. I don't know how to get my mind around you. You're so weird, God. You're so unpredictable. You're so amazing. You're so, it's beautiful. It's hard. I don't know. And then like, it just felt so awesome at the end to just like sing out. Like it still doesn't have very much resolve. There's no resolve in what we're declaring. And it's just like, you actually gave me a voice and all I can do is actually call on you anyway. You know, there's just like this, there still is this essence to it that's just like, what else am I supposed to do, God? You pinned me in the corner.
I have no choice.
Like I don't have a choice, but then there's this, I don't know, there really is this beautiful wrestle between it is what it is. And then like this, like, like giving yourself to it and just crying out, you know, am I safe? And I just think he is going to push us till we break and he's going to give us what it takes. It's just like all of it in the same.
In
and
a
so
swirl.
Even the song just feels like a swirl of like undecidedness. But I'd rather be in this. You know, I would just rather be participating in the weird adventure of all of this than not. So anyway.
Amen.
Y'all,
does that feel like what this podcast has been? A weird adventure.
It has been a weird adventure. The album has been, the conversation has been, but I'd rather do this than not.
Amen.
It's worth taking the adventure. Thank you for taking the adventure with me. Let's hold hands. Kat, could you give us a final chant? Sometimes your hand is so
very
cold.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Sometimes Kat in my life, she will lead us in things that we're supposed to recite. And
wait, I've never
supposed
this.
Supposed to is a strong word.
She leads us in. They're not prayers. They're just
affirmations.
Not
they're
even.
They're
nonsense.
Of
they can be offensive. Hopefully, this one won't be.
Do we repeat after you?
Yes, you can repeat after me. Okay. Thank you, friends.
Thank you,
friends. Look each person in their eye.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, friends.
Friends, like cheersing with your eyes. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're following me. Okay. For this adventure. It's been weird.
It's been weird.
But mostly wonderful.
Wonderful.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Participate.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
What in the world? No, I love these girls so much. Thank you to everybody who has listened to these wonderful, weird conversations. Oh man, just keep letting us know what you think. You know, if you're just dying for this thing to not end, you know, maybe we can get
I thought you were about to say the opposite. If you're dying for this to be
to be over. don't tell us. And if you're dying for it to never end, send us some questions that you might want to hear us answer. Any other loose ends, lyrics that you heard that we didn't explain, or just things you're wondering about, conversations you want to have. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to have another little bonus episode if we get questions from you guys. Yeah. Can't thank you guys enough. All 10 songs are done.
Ooh, wow.
My album Mama is out in the world, and would love for you to listen to it. And love you guys.
Love you.
Yeah, love you.
Well, hey friends, hope you enjoyed that conversation. And if you really enjoyed it, I hope you'll leave us a comment or a really good review, or you'll send it to a friend that should hear it. If you're looking for me elsewhere, I'm mostly on Instagram, but I have also started a SUBSTACK where I'll be sharing prayers and devotional writings and poems, and I'd love to find you over there as well. Before I let you go, I got to say some thank yous. First, thank you to Kat Miller and to Teal Wojcicki for being in this conversation with me. Thank you so much to my husband, Kyle Langdon, for producing and engineering and editing this podcast so that you guys could hear it and see it. And thank you so much to my Patreon community who has funded my music career for the past 5 years. If you're interested in becoming a patron at a free or paid level, I would love to have you on my team and stay more in touch with you. So go to patreon.com/JessRay to sign up. Thank you guys for listening. We're going to catch you next time. Bye.